So Georgia, I understand that Dr. Jenkins has instructed you to go on a gluten-free diet. So do you want to tell me a bit about how that's been going?
To be honest, I've been kind of finding it quite challenging. I'm struggling to read labels and identify which products have gluten in them. Also, my grocery bill has been really expensive. That hasn't been that great.
Yeah, well, I'm sure it's been quite an adjustment for you financially.
Yeah.
Gluten-free products are about 240% more expensive than regular products. So, yeah, it's quite a jump for you. But you can actually join the Coeliac Society and receive a discount. So, this might help decrease the cost burden for you.
Oh, I had no idea about that. I'll sign up when I get home. Thank you.
Great. Yeah, we'll really save quite a bit of money. So,
yeah.
And in relation to your struggles following the diet, that's entirely understandable. It is quite a big adjustment. So, yeah, it's nothing unusual there. And my aim today is to really empower you to make those decisions and to know what's in your food and how to manage your celiac. So,
yeah, that sounds great.
Awesome. And today we can go over exactly what is in your food and why a gluten-free diet will help. And I can also go over some label reading with you. How does that sound?
Yeah, that's perfect.
Fabulous. So, what do you know or understand about the celiac diet at the moment?
Well, I know that it affects my gut.
Yeah.
And that when I eat gluten, I just generally feel very unwell in my stomach, especially. And I can't really think straight, and yeah, it's not great.
Yeah, well, that's it's pretty good understanding so far. So maybe we'll go into a bit more depth today if you're up to it. But so celiac does affect the gut. It affects the small intestine. And the symptoms that you've described occur when the body has an immune response to the protein gluten. So your body sort of recognises gluten as a foreign thing that shouldn't be there, and then it attacks it. And that's why you feel a bit sick.
Okay.
So do you know which foods contain gluten?
I think, from my understanding, oats, barley, wheat.
It's a good start.
Yeah, I guess when I've been noticing it when I've been in having bread, especially.
Yeah.
Obviously, because it contains those ingredients.
Yeah. So so the main things that gluten is found in, you're right, are oats, wheat, and then there's barley, rye. There's a grain called triticale as well, and spelt. Okay. Yeah. So and it's those grains as well as their derivatives, so things that are made from them.
Okay, so like the bread.
Exactly. Yeah. And byproducts as well of grain production and things like that. So you just have to be aware of those things. It's also found hiding in foods, so like sauces and condiments. They actually have gluten in them.
Oh.
Yeah. So.
Okay.
Is that sort of what you're finding overwhelming? Is it reading?
It's more like reading labels. I find that really overwhelming because I don't really they use a lot of scientific words and I don't really understand what that means.
I think you need a science degree just to read the labels.
Yeah, so to me that's probably the most overwhelming part. Yeah. Like I'm fine following obviously a diet conducive to my own gut health or whatever, but yeah, actually reading the label, that's
the hardest part?
Yeah.
Okay, well, we'll definitely go over that today for you.
Cool.
So, I've synthesised a list of common processed foods for you that often contain gluten, and then some gluten-free alternatives. So you can just sort of say I'm having soy sauce, and then I'll provide the gluten-free example for you. So have a quick glance over this now.
Yep.
And I thought we could do a quick label reading exercise to see how you're going. So, do you have any questions so far?
Yeah, so the list here says yeast extract spreads. What sort of spreads would have that, I guess?
Yeah, that's a great question. A lot of people don't know what a yeast extract spread is. So these are things such as Vegemite, Promite, Marmite. Yeah, I know. They're derived from yeast that is grown on gluten-containing grains such as barley and wheat. So it's really important that you don't have these because they can still incite the damage in your gut, even though it's not the actual grain, but they're grown on the yeast used is grown on the grains. So I know it's complicated. You don't really need to know that, but just to know that you can't really have those.
Was there something else I can have instead of Vegemite? Because I love Vegemite toast. That's like my go-to breakfast. I don't think you understand.
No, I get it. I do get it. I do love some Vegemite too. Yeah. But there is actually an alternative, which is really exciting. It's called Aussiemite, and it's a yeast extract spread, but it's grown on corn instead of barley and wheat, so it's gluten-free because corn's gluten-free. Okay. So you can definitely consume that.
Oh, I guess it's good that there are alternatives.
Yeah, definitely.
Good to know that.
And there are loads of gluten-free products available now, which is great for celiac sufferers such as yourself. So I thought, yes, we'll get onto the label reading activity.
Yep.
So I've got a few common foods here. Can you identify the source of gluten in this one?
Okay. Malt flavour?
Yes. That's correct. Well done.
Is that the only one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's malt flavour. So malt flavour is obtained from barley, and therefore this product, which is actually cornflakes, isn't gluten-free, but you would think that it would be.
because it's corn.
Yeah. So it's a bit deceptive, and you just have to be aware of those things.
Yeah.
But there's actually a gluten-free alternative for cornflakes as well.
Oh, good. Okay.
Kellogg's has actually just released a line of gluten-free cornflakes.
Okay, cool.
So, they're more cost-effective than the ones available in the health food aisle. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Cool. I think I'm getting the hang of it. So, just malt and barley and all that when looking at labels, I guess.
Yeah, we'll go into another one.
Yeah.
Can you identify the gluten in this one?
Okay, well, there's the malted barley, because, like, the other one, malt, I guess.
Yeah, that's right.
What's whey? Is that how you pronounce it?
That's milk. That's milk protein.
Okay, so not that.
You were right with the malted barley.
Okay, so it's just that.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm getting a hang of it. Got it.
So it's really important that you're aware of what's in your food.
Yeah.
So this one's soy sauce.
Yeah.
It's really important to be aware of what's in your food when you're eating out. So I thought this was a good one to throw in there.
Yeah.
Can you identify what's
in
this one?
So it has wheat in it,
and
that contains gluten. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. So well done.
Yay.
So there are indeed some alternatives to soy sauce as well, as I mentioned previously. But the one, the best one is tamari.
Okay.
Yes, and that's gluten-free soy sauce, and you can find that just in the supermarket.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. And when you're eating out at Asian restaurants, it's really important that you ask them if they have a gluten-free alternative to soy, because a lot of their products, a lot of the noodle dishes and the stir fries contain soy sauce. So it's important that you take that initiative and you call them up and you ask them if you know you're going.
Okay.
And with cafes and stuff, it's really important as well that you ask if they use foil on the grill for bread, because cross-contamination, even trace amounts of gluten can damage the gut lining, sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, so we really want to minimise that opportunity for cross-contamination.
Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah.
I mean, that's great because I love stir fries as well.
Yeah.
love cooking it at home. So it's good to know that there is actually an alternative for soy sauce.
Yeah. And stir fries are a great way to pack in some iron with like your green leafy vegetables and your steak as well. So that brings me to my next point of discussion with you, which is actually your iron levels. Dr. Jenkins mentioned in his referral letter as well that your iron levels were a bit low, which is completely normal for people with celiac disease.
Okay. How come?
Because the lining of your small intestine, it's called the mucosa, is where iron absorption occurs from the gut. So your body takes up the iron via the mucosa and it absorbs it into the bloodstream. In celiac disease, since the mucosa are damaged, iron absorption can be inhibited, which means it's not being taken up by the blood, so that leads to deficiency. Does that make sense?
Okay, so how can I increase my iron levels?
So the only way to do this is to actually follow the gluten-free diet.
Okay.
Yeah. This repairs the damage to the lining of the small intestine. And also ensure that you're eating a good amount of iron-rich foods. So lean meat, red meat, and green leafy vegetables are all great sources of iron.
What if I don't fully comply with a gluten-free diet? I'm not going to, obviously, because I don't want to jeopardize my health, but just curious to know.
Yeah. The long-term implications of not adhering to a gluten-free diet are constant iron deficiency, reduced bone mineral density, increasing the risk of developing osteoporosis, infertility, and gastrointestinal cancers. So it's really in your best interest to follow the gluten-free diet.
Yeah.
It's good to keep these things in mind, just sort of at the back of your mind to think about.
Yeah.
But just for now, we're going to just focus on how to follow it and how to empower you to make those choices in the supermarket and that sort of thing. Yeah. But yeah, we'll focus more on the other stuff later. Yeah.
Well, I definitely get how important it is to follow a gluten-free diet. And especially for relieving my IBS symptoms. I hope that can sort of come with it too.
Well, I wouldn't recommend restricting your diet any further at this stage because sometimes IBS, there's a diet called the FODMAP diet.
Oh yeah, I've heard about that.
Yeah. Monash University brought that one out and it actually restricts quite a few food groups. So for now, let's just
What sort of food groups though?
It's like types of carbohydrates.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think for now, let's just focus on the gluten, getting that down pat.
Yeah.
And then next time I see you, we can discuss the IBS and see if that's been alleviated by excluding gluten.
Yeah.
Does that sound okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. You're happy with that?
Yeah.
Cool. So if you're still experiencing symptoms, we'll discuss it next time.
Yeah, that's fine. Also, another favourite food of mine is cheese. Would I have to cut that out from my diet?
No. So we actually really encourage people with celiac disease to keep their dairy intake quite high. And by high, I mean following the recommendations, which is 2 serves per day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
That's because people with celiac disease are actually at increased risk of osteoporosis and bone fracture. Yeah.
Why is that? There's so much.
There really is, but we're going to try and keep it as not overwhelming. Keep it really simple for you.
Yeah, okay.
So this is thought to be related to calcium malabsorption in the bowel. So everything that's kind of absorbed, so the iron, the calcium, they're absorbed through those mucosa. Because they're damaged, it's harder for the body to take it up.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
So again, the only way to make sure your bones stay healthy, especially now because you're young and you want to reach your peak bone mass pretty soon. It's really important that you abstain from gluten.
Yeah.
So basically, the whole message of today is follow the gluten-free diet. Yeah.
I mean, now I know what I'm looking out for. I know wheat, but also the other parts like barley malt and all that. Yeah, like I feel like I have a better understanding now. Because before I was like, how do I read food labels?
And now you got it.
But now I think I've got it. I've got it. Yeah.
Good.
So what does a serve of dairy look like then?
So that's a really good question. A lot of people don't know what a serve looks like. So a good way to think about it is a slice of cheese, just a regular slice of tasty.
Like from a pack sort of thing?
Like the pre-sliced cheese. Yeah.
Okay.
A cup, which is 250 mils of milk.
Yep. Okay.
Or 200 grams of yogurt.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's got all the calcium that you'll need for the day. So 2 of those serves. So it would be 2 slices of cheese, 2 glasses of milk, or 2 tubs of yogurt.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yeah, that's fine. I do love my dairy foods.
So this one shouldn't be too difficult for you.
Nah, won't be difficult. And also I find it's like really cheap, especially because like I live on campus, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
Like I can buy it in bulk. I can buy like those big tubs of yogurt.
Yeah,
but
and you can portion it out.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's great to see that you're so motivated as well.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to damage my health, you know.
Yeah. And that sort of positivity will really great impact on your gut health for the next, as many years that you're here with us.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah. So that we sort of want you just to live a very normal life with limited impact from the celiac. So
yeah,
it's great when a patient's motivated to do that.
Yeah, well, thank you. I think it's been helpful,
no worries.
To hear that as well. Just have that reinforcement.
No, you're doing a great job, and it's not an easy life adjustment that you're going through. And
it really isn't.
No, I can imagine. And you know that you can always come back to me.
Yeah.
Any questions? You have my email.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks so much, Carly.
No worries. And I did have just one more thing I wanted to touch on with you.
Yep.
So everything that I have talked about today, I've put together in a little handout for you.
Oh,
and there's some information from Coeliac Victoria and Tasmania, just to help you along the way as well. And I've written down a few key websites and information sources that are credible and evidence-based for you as well.
Okay, great.
And they sort of put things into simple terms that will help you not to get overwhelmed by all the information. And also, I just want to touch really quickly on alcohol. Do you drink at all?
Yeah, I like to have a few here and there.
Yeah, that's totally fine. You're living on campus, young and free. In terms of alcohol, beer isn't gluten-free.
Oh, that's fine. I don't want beer anyways. To me, it tastes like metal. I've never understood how people can just drink beer.
Metal. I've never heard that one before.
Really? Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
But that's fine.
But that's good to know, just in case.
Beer doesn't contain gluten, but there are gluten-free alternatives, as there seem to be for everything, which is great. So there's a brand called Billabong gluten-free beer.
Okay.
And they're endorsed by Coeliac Australia, so it's legit.
What about spirits? Do spirits contain gluten or
No, just the beer.
Cool.
So yeah, I hope I've concluded everything for you and
definitely
it's cleared up all the misconceptions, confusion. So if you have any other questions, you can always email me, call me.
Yeah. It's been great. Thank you.
No problem. Thanks so much, Georgia.
Thanks, Carly.